Hey everyone, how you doing? It's Jeff C. It is Friday, October the 10th, and I come to you tonight. I thought, it's long overdue. Perhaps I'm here to declare that InfoWars is a disinfo site and that Alex Jones is a Major League shill. I know a lot of you have already thought that way for a very long time, and I've had definite huge suspicions. I don't watch InfoWars. Very, very rarely do I watch InfoWars. But I have been looking at what they've been doing with Ebola, and I've come to the conclusion that they are shilling in a big way. In fact, I would say, without a doubt in my mind, that InfoWars is pumping the Ebola fear porn more than any other outlet out there. And it's quite deplorable. It's very despicable. It really is rotten to the core what they are doing. Now, I've obviously been using this green logo for several videos now, sort of thing, right? I've been going on about the color green and how they're using it to program your minds and how this whole thing is a hoax. I've shown the crisis actors that they used on television. I've shown the, Thomas Eric Duncan, TED, in other words there. I've shown what his real past was and how he is just acting out this role. He did not die of Ebola. He did not have Ebola. Nancy Wright, Ebola, and Dr. Kent Brantley, of course. I showed those. I've done so much work into this, so I can't pull it all together every time. So if you people are coming up for the first time, you don't understand where I am with all this, then you have a lot of catching up to do. So I'm not here to do all that. I'm just telling you that Ebola is 100% a hoax. It's a hoax here, it's a hoax there, it's a hoax everywhere. If it's in Africa, it's a hoax, okay? If it's in Spain, it's a hoax. If it's in Australia, it's a hoax, and you know for sure that it is a hoax in the United States, but you'll never learn that from InfoWars. In fact, InfoWars will tell you that you must fear Ebola and that Ebola is coming to get you, and nobody has been pushing it more than InfoWars or Alex Jones. Nobody has been, criticizing the CDC more, saying it's the CDC that's going to kill us because they're not doing enough. Funny how they're always against government. Now they want government to come in and solve everything, right? Well, that means they're all part of this whole thing, and I'm going to show this to you right now. Go on to InfoWars channel and put in a search here for Ebola, and guess how many results turn up here. You've got CDC secretly panicking over Ebola. Natural ways to fight Ebola revealed by scientists. Ebola rolls out exactly as predicted. 40% of Americans believe Obama will save them from Ebola. Jesse Jackson says Liberian Ebola patient was a victim of racism. CDC more dangerous than Ebola. Federal government wants Ebola to spread. CDC owns 70 patents on Ebola. Hot Mike catches CBS reporter on Ebola. We're screwed. All right, it just goes on and 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 on. Look, I can even load more and go back months. Nobody has been pushing it like InfoWars, and they're using the green all the time. All the fucking time, okay? And I'm going to show this to you as well. This is a huge problem here. We have a serious problem here. InfoWars is on board. Government tells people not to worry about Ebola as it prepares for the worst, right? They are pushing this fear porn on you, all right? That's what they're doing. They are part of this whole operation, and they're one of the most sinister parts of the whole thing. It's absolutely astonishing. Is Ebola crisis ready to explode? Ebola Unleashed, Bioweapons 101. Ebola, our tool of our destruction. How it can be used to destroy the human race, or at least, at the very least, bring about global tyranny. Right? It just goes on and on and on. Airborne Ebola has been here since the 80s. This is a shill network here, InfoWars. And I just haven't been paying attention to them. But You know, the game's up. You guys are totally busted here. It's unbelievable. Now, I've only lined up a few videos. I've really only watched a few of them, but I can give you an example of some of the recent coverage and how they do it, how they're pushing this fear porn, and people really need to listen in here.
I'd blame it on airborne viruses that come from fruit bats that have been manipulated in bioweapons labs in the last 50 years, 45 years. That's on record. It's clearly been weaponized, and it's becoming more airborne.
Clearly.
And by the way, if you're a new listener and say, hey, it's not airborne, mainline science has said for 2 years, evidence it's airborne.
Mainline science has said for 2 years. This guy. Look at the green. Look at what they're doing. The outbreak cover-up revealed. They're covering up. It's a fucking hoax. It's a fucking hoax, you fat man, you stupid douchebag. You're too stupid. Oh, you're getting paid. I mean, that's what you're there for. So listen a little bit more.
With monkeys transferring it to pigs in Africa, in cages, separated, in laboratories where they're separated. I think a lot of this testing and CDC stuff and UN stuff, undoubtedly these labs are becoming vectors for it, even if they're not trying to create it. It's no doubt SV40 that gave over 100 million Americans cancer on record was from the vaccine production. The question is, was it on purpose or by accident?
All right, so let's go over to this one too. Let's see how Hot Mike catches CBS reporter on Ebola saying we're screwed. So this guy basically got up, started laughing, said we're screwed, and he's running with this to say that the end of the world is coming, essentially.
Oh yeah, let's play the reporter. I'm sorry. This got caught where the newsreaders get up and ask their canned questions. They have to give them to the White House first, but then after they ask their question, then the reporter had this to say on C-SPAN. Here it is.
The most interesting thing is the travel and stuff.
Hey, we're screwed.
Which is what
I'm feeling foolish. Just so you know, so I'm gonna give you a big kiss.
No, I don't want your kiss. That's a CNN report.
If it comes back positive, I'm doing filter salvage.
This what?
Let's not tell the public. So hilarious. So funny. Here's another one. Newly vigilant U.S. will screen flyers for Ebola. Oh, now that there's a backlash, they'll put out some fever screeners that ibuprofen can beat. How about you're coming out of a country that has it? You're not allowed to come in here, especially if you're not a citizen.
You see how he's doing it? He's pushing nothing but the fear porn. He's buying it hook, line, and sinker. He's all on board. He's part of this whole operation. This is how sinister it is. It's absolutely disgusting. Let's listen in more. Look, this is just unbelievable. They're actually making these propaganda Ebola t-shirts with blood on them, right? And this is supposed to mock Obama for his lackadaisical approach to the hoax, that he should be committing a lot more to the hoax, and the hoax is going to fall on all over his face. It's all, you know, it's all his fault. Look at this.
Masquerading as reporters. We're funded by bringing you high-quality, cutting-edge products.
What a fucking load of manure, man. Fuck you.
Labe, Made in America, 1776 T-shirts, and things like that.
1776 T-shirts.
We'll talk like we want. We'll say what we want. We'll do what we want. We got two different variants of that. Those are Made in America. InfoWarsStore.com or MadeIn1776.com. But since I mentioned this earlier, I want to get to it. I had this idea kind of last week, and then I saw stories all over the news today, one up at InfoWars.com, about bumper stickers popping up that say Ebola. But then in the O, it is the Obama symbol. So we now have a t-shirt that on the back says Obola, InfoWars.com, and on the front says Ebola. So we're the first to get these out, ladies and gentlemen, and I have announced a limited run. We have them in production right now. It'll take a few weeks to get them in, and then we'll ship them out, and that's it. So when they're sold out, they're sold out. We're doing 3,000 of the blood-spattered version and a little less of the one that doesn't have the fake blood splatter version. But it's a great way to desecrate the political correct gods. It's a great way to say we'll equate big government and tyranny with disease. In fact, we're going to add to that shopping cart page.
It's just unbelievable. And it just goes on. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It really is. CDC more dangerous than Ebola. Listen in here.
Around our kids, you might get something. People say that you shouldn't be scared. The CDC saying that there's nothing to worry about. I pretty much would have to say I disagree with that. I think you should be scared because these government bureaucrats who are supposed to have our back, who are supposed to be having our best interests in mind, the ones who are supposed to be professional, the scientists who are experts on all this, that say that they know what's going on, that there's nothing to be scared about. That's what's scary, is the fact that their ego's so big that they can't admit the fact that there is an issue and that they aren't well prepared for it. We know that they're not well prepared for it because they haven't trickled down the information, that hasn't trickled down the ladder to the lowest people in the hospitals. But they want to tell you that you're going to be okay. And it's something that you have to take into your own consideration. You've got to wash your hands. You've got to make sure that you're being mindful of the people you talk to, what you're doing, the things that you're touching, not touching your mouth. Keep some hand sanitizer in your pocket and just be safe. Watch our reports and continue to get information on this as it happens. I'm Joe Biggs with InfoWars.com.
Yeah, it's a perfect name. Joe Biggs. Fucking big guy, eh? Full of fucking shit. Full of big shit, you fucking turd. Oh, this is just unfucking believable. There you go. All the time when he's talking about Ebola, there's always a green, you know, the neon green in the background. Just like I've shown you over and over again how they're using this. InfoWars is all on board.
This is human resources. They believe the federal government will save them from Ebola. Well, if you call forced inoculations and mass illnesses and death saving you, then I guess so. If you go back to the actual numbers, we've had medical doctors on to break this down and shown the graphs of polio in this country in the 1950s.
See, it's all the fear porn. Ebola's coming. The CDC isn't doing enough. You see how it works, folks? Instead of InfoWars actually being a news outlet, they're a propaganda machine, and they're playing their role perfectly. Their role is to convince everyone that Ebola is a huge threat, and this is how it works. True Stream Media, the exact same thing. AMTV News, all these fake fucking outlets, right? And they're pushing the same fucking bullshit, right? That they're not doing enough. They're not doing enough for you. Your family's in trouble. You got to do this. You got to wash your hands. You got to take the sanitizer. You got to listen to this guy. You got to listen to that guy. And here's another bullshit person I'm bringing on to put more fear in you. They're all part of it, man. That is fucking clear as day to me. These fuckers, you know. And again and again, as I told you, over and over again, using the same background. The exact same fucking background. Right? Does it look familiar? Right? Does it look familiar? Does it look familiar? Have you seen it before? They're all using it. It's all going on. This is the programming that they're doing. They're all working together